hey, you got to move in your future?
And trying to decide between a resale and new construction?
We're Christel and Leah, owners of Carolina Dreaming, and this is a question we get asked every day. So we thought today we would sort of do the pros and cons of new construction versus existing home, also called resale. And these are the topics that we discuss every day with our clients when we're out in the field, right?
Absolutely.
So the first thing I would say on a new construction is that it's new, right? It's pretty exciting when no one else has ever lived in this house before. So that's sort of part of the allure for sure.
Absolutely. I jokingly tell my clients all the time, this is one of the cons as realtors of showing new construction. So then you have to go back to your house.
Yes, that is true. Those model homes.
And it's not shiny and new.
No, those model homes pull you in. So new construction, it's new, it's exciting. A con, I would say, is that new construction, the price point is always going to be the top of that area. Wherever you're at, the price per square foot is going to be pretty high. So from a price point versus resale, resale you might have a little bit more flexibility.
Less wiggle room. But on the flip side, you could be getting incentives that are not necessarily available with a resale property.
Absolutely. Those builders are putting out amazing incentives right now. It's sort of it's a buyer's market a little bit here in the Raleigh-Durham area. But we're seeing closing cost pays, appliances, reduced interest rates. And so that's a big topic we want to talk about.
Yes, because I was showing houses a couple of days ago at a new construction community, and they were advertising a 7-year ARM at 3.99.
Right, but it's tricky because even though it says 3.99, you really need to look at that little number behind it. So, for example, I've given you some examples of promotions that are going on right now. So even though it's 3.99 interest rate, you really need to look at that second number, which is the annual percentage rate. So think of it like when you buy a car. Here's the sticker price. But then you have to pay, your licensing, your admin fee, all the things to get out the door price. So the APR is really the out the door price. So when you're out there looking at different things, the APR says it's the interest rate plus whatever that builder's kind of charging you to get there. Because even though the interest rate is 3.99, there's an origination fee, there's an admin fee, there's a loan fee. All those things add up. Now they might be paying for it. So anyhow, I would just say look at that APR for sure.
Look at the big picture.
Look at the big picture.
There's always fees. And that's for resale. If you're getting a loan on a resale, you're going to have origination fees as well. So all that kind of goes hand in hand.
Right. And I would also say, if you do if you're going to buy a new construction, you should always model the loan with a lender versus maybe just that builder. So the builder is going to give you incentives. You have to use their financing arm typically to get it. But don't feel like you have to use that. Go ahead and talk to a loan officer and have them model it. And that APR is going to allow them to do that apples to apples comparison.
Absolutely.
And then pick the one that goes best for you. All right. So then the next thing I had on a new construction is that you kind of know what you're getting. It's brand new, right? So the HVAC is new. The appliances are new. That's definitely a advantage, especially if you're you put all your money into the house. Knowing that you're not going to have any big maintenance repairs is a big plus.
Oh, I think that also comes along with just sort of a peace of mind, knowing that next year you're not going to be replacing some of these bigger systems.
Right. But on the resale part, you can work with your real estate agent, and there are a lot of resale homes that have new HVACs, new roofs. So those are things you want to look at. We call those capital expenditures. So we can kind of, when we're talking, we'll be like, oh, this house has new this or new that. But for sure, that new construction home gives you that peace of mind.
Yes, because on a resale, it's going to be more, okay, a new roof, but the HVAC is original to the house. So these are the things that you're going to have to just house by house figure out what you're dealing with.
Right, the trade-offs. From a new construction perspective, something to think about from a relocation lens is sometimes it's easier to plan for a big move from out of state when it's new construction because you have time. And so it depends on the builder that you're going with, but new construction can be anywhere from 3 to 6 months if it's a production builder, 6 to 9, 12 months plus if it's a custom home. But that allows you to reverse engineer your move. Okay, you could come for your exploratory trip, you can pick a lot, you know that you have a floor plan that you like. So that is an advantage, I think, from relocation.
I agree. And also something to think about is a lot of these production builders will have spec homes. So you don't necessarily need that amount of time. There could be some that are mid-process. So really the timing is ideal for a lot of people that are relocating. Or even if you're just moving around the triangle.
No, that's true. And you will always get your best deal with a builder if it is already built versus if you're doing it from the ground up, because they've already put their money into it. So that's when they're going to bring out the best incentives.
Absolutely.
But something to think about that. One of the things I do talk about on new construction, if you're getting into a neighborhood kind of early phase, like there's going to be 300 homes and this is home 25, that builder's going to actually help you force appreciate it, because builders, every 10 sales, that price inches up a little bit. It goes up $5,000, $8,000. And so those become your comps. Now your house is worth a little bit more. So that's a good thing from a force appreciation. But I will also say, yes, Leah?
Well, I probably was thinking the same thing that you're about to say. But then you have however long of construction that you wake up to every morning.
Absolutely.
And the different construction crews in and out of the neighborhood. The potential of flat tires that we all deal with.
That's the price you pay. And also, if you let's say you buy a new construction home in one of these big neighborhoods, it's got all these amenities, they give you great incentives, but it's going to be like 3 years before it's done, and it's a year and a half, and you want to sell your home, that's actually a lot harder because the builder's still building, and so they're out there giving these great incentives. So those are just things to think about. That new construction is great because it's going to be pushing up that price point, but you're going to be dealing with, the construction. Also, it could be hard to sell if it was a short time frame.
Sure.
One of the other pluses of new construction is that you can customize it if you can. Right, there are some production builders that they already determined that it's going to have white cabinets, this flooring, this. You take it or leave it. There are other ones that are semi-custom that you can kind of pick and choose. So that is fun, and even if you don't get to customize it, it's always going to tend to be on trend, fresh, nice, neutral paint, and then you can pick and choose. So that's a plus of new construction, I would say.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about some of the cons of new construction, and I would say a con is that typically they are a little further out. At least here in the Raleigh area, if we're looking for those big new communities where builders coming in and putting in, 50 plus homes, those aren't going to be city center. They're going to be more on the outskirts.
Yes. Another con for me would be when you drive into the new construction neighborhoods, they lose that homey established feel because there's no trees. There's the tree lined streets are not there like you get in resale or older established neighborhoods.
100% character and charm, and something that people will talk about new construction. They all kind of look the same. They're cookie cutter. When you get in there, you're going to add the character and charm, but you don't get it up front. But so definitely, I think that's something. Smaller lots.
You're going to be close to your neighbors.
Yeah, I'm going to reach
Is
out.
that a pro or a con? I don't know.
And some people like less yard to maintain, but if you're looking for a little bit more elbow room, then definitely a resale may be more beneficial for you.
Yep. The HOAs are going to be more stringent in their rules.
And more expensive. Definitely when you're going out with your agent, you're going to want to know for that new construction neighborhood, what are the HOAs, what does it include? But they tend to be more. One of the things that I always want to check for my clients on that HOA is, can I rent? Can they rent? Mm-hmm. So, because life changes, so you're going to buy this house, but it might not be your forever home, but you always want an exit strategy. Like, okay, maybe I gotta, I'm moving for a short amount of time. Can we rent that property? So that's something we would want to look at as well.
Yes.
One of the cons that I had down on new construction, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, which is that less flexibility in pricing. But I would say those builders try to hold the line, right? Because the comps of the other homes that follow. So we have less flexibility with the builder, but we can get different things. So for example, we can get them to throw in blinds, or I have a situation where we got them to pay for a year's worth of HOA. So there's different things that you can do. I had a builder that epoxied a 3-car garage. So
That's nice.
that was nice. But it was a good deal for him because we came in with a really competitive offer, but we asked for a lot of things that would benefit my homeowner that they wouldn't have to do. They were moving in from Indianapolis. So just know that where the builder's going to hold the line on the pricing, but we can ask for other things.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to say also we can try to negotiate some of those things too with the resale, you know, incentives, HOA fees, or something that you could ask for as well in a resale community.
Absolutely. So that's really why you work with an agent that knows the market, that knows what's going on, and what we can ask for. You should know about Leah and I. We flip homes, and we love a good deal.
We do love a good deal.
Know that if you are thinking about a move to the Carolinas, we'd love to help you with Carolina Dreaming Real Estate Group. We work with clients just like you every day. You can reach us at this number. You can contact us down below, and we'd love to chat with you.
Whether you're moving in
Or just moving on.
we're here to make your real estate journey smooth, successful, and stress-free.
See you next time.